Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pam. For those of you that don't know me, I am a third year at Florida State University. I am currently in the whole process of studying for the LSAT. If you're unaware, the LSAT is basically the law school entrance exam. Think about it as like an SAT but for law school. I've been wanting to make this video for like a while, but I never kind of really like got around to it, and I got my lashes on today, so I thought a video would be very appropriate. I recently discovered law school YouTube, and yo, that is like fire. Like I've really been enjoying it, especially to like get some insight on how I should study, like some tips and things like that. It's been really interesting just to kind of see how like certain people got into certain schools, what their stats were, which is something that I'm willing to share as well when the time comes. I just think it's really helpful, especially since law school is like such an expensive process, which, oh my god, like I feel like that's something that guidance counselors don't prepare you for. Like, law school is honestly just a privilege to even apply. Like, talk about gatekeeping, but you know what, that's a conversation for later. I'm not gonna go into all of that, but yeah, like it's really intense. If you didn't know already, just to apply to take the LSAT, it is $200. Those of you that don't know, Testmasters is basically like an LSAT prep course. Remember when you were in high school and you took the SAT, there were some prep courses by Princeton Review, Kaplan, like those type of companies. They exist for grad school too. Law school is literally so much money from the start. Prep courses are very, very expensive. So I just want to be transparent on my channel because I wish people were this transparent in real life. Like, I think that the people I spoke to, some of them were very helpful, but a lot of them I felt like lacked in honesty, and I just wish like I had seen this video before I did this prep course, basically, or before I started this whole law school application process, basically. Well, I'm not even applying it. I'm just going through the LSAT test taking process first, which is like a whole other thing. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my iPad. I wrote down like everything that I thought would be important to mention, just because I think all these things are very important and it'll help you make a more informed decision regarding whether you not want to take this course. This is what the Testmasters booklet looks like. I kept this. It has so much information in it. In this video, I want to be going over the pros and cons of the Testmasters course. So to start off, I think it's important to mention that since we are in a global pandemic, there are two ways that you can take this course. The first is in person and the second is online. Just like as a heads up, I suppose, the online version is not live like how your Zoom classes are. They are pre-recorded lectures and stuff like that, so it's not like live, which I think is important to specify. So you could just look busted and I'll have to answer any questions, basically. There is a hefty difference between the two. In my opinion, it is a lot of money in comparison. However, you do want to take into account that we are in a global pandemic, so perhaps the in-person one may not be the best option depending on your location and how aggressive COVID is in your state. For me, I did decide to go with the virtual route. I think that it was just the best option for me. The online version is $1,150 and the in-person version is $1,650. If this scares you, I completely understand. I was in your position as well. However, I do want to mention that I have a referral code. If y'all want a discount, I got you. I'll put it in the description box. I'll put it right here. I'll put it at the end of the video. It does help. It's not going to be like a ton of money, but it does help. I use the referral code and I got my money. So yeah, I do understand that it is a lot of money, but remember, the LSAT, just like law school in general, is a whole investment on who you are, like in your career. So it's worth it if you do get a higher LSAT score, in my opinion. However, I will be going into the pros and cons. Like I said, I just want to give you like a quick background on the course as a whole to see if this is the right fit for you. This video is going to be tailored a little bit more towards the online version of the course. However, they are exactly the same thing. The only thing that's different is your instructor. And lastly, before I go into the pro and cons, I do want to mention the time that you have to actually take this course. Once you pay your $1,000+, you have a 90-day max access to the course. That's just something to keep in mind in terms of like time management. The course should not take you 3 months. It is a very rigorous course, let me tell you that. Like PSA AF, like it is a very, very rigorous course. I do want to warn you, like you, or at least I did, a lot of people do, commit about like 3 to 5 hours a day on this course. Probably like I did consistently like 4 or 5 hours. for like one entire month, and then I like cooled it down a little bit. But yeah, like it is pretty intense in the beginning just because it is a lot of like information at once. Also, I do want to say that before taking this course, I have never, I'm like the worst like law school applicant. I never took a philosophy class ever in my life. I had no logical foundation at all. I went into it completely blind. So if that's also you, don't worry, there's hope for you too, because yeah, this course helped me, and I just want to talk a little bit about it because some things I liked and other things I was just like, yo, like this is so bad. But yeah, let's get into the pros and cons. So like I said, this course was really, really helpful. I am willing to share my stats, so I'll put that at the end of the video if you're curious. Obviously these are not going to be your stats, but I think it's like a show of how helpful the course was for me. So yeah, I'll put that at the end of the video if you're curious. The first pro that I want to talk about is basically the classroom setting it was filmed in. So basically the instructor, which is like Robin Singh, he's like the world record holder for the most perfect LSAT scores in history or something like that. He's the instructor for the course. I really enjoyed the way that it was filmed though, because the students were like, you could see students interact with the professor or like Robin Singh or whatever, the instructor, and they would ask questions that sometimes I would have in my own head. So I really appreciated that because I did take the online version, so I didn't have the opportunity to like raise my hand and be like, hey, like what does this mean? So I like that it was in a classroom setting because I kind of felt like I was a part of the class. I was just like the quiet kid that never got called on, or I never had to participate, and I actually really like that because the way he does have the class set up, and like the way all the classes are set up for any instructor you take, I don't know if he still teaches classes, I think he's kind of old now, but you get cold called, so it's very similar to law school, so I guess it kind of prepares you for that. So I guess that could be a pro or a con. So to get cold called on a concept I'm not like really sure on is what intimidates me, so I'm thankful that I did the online course because I didn't have to be a part of that. However, I did get the benefit of feeling like I was in a classroom because the other students were asking questions and they were the ones getting called on. The second pro about this course is that it is very accessible. I know it's financially like difficult for some people, but I mean just like accessible because you could literally live in any part of the country and have access to this course as long as you have internet. So I think that's really great because some people don't like have a car, they don't live close to like a testmasters location, stuff like that. I think it's like really cool that they do offer an online version that is very, very good in my opinion. So yeah, that's like the second pro really quick, and I'll definitely expand on that when I talk about my con. But yeah, my third pro is one of the best things about testmasters in my opinion. So basically the way testmasters is set up, each lesson has several like videos that you have to watch. And throughout each video you get like a practice question that he goes over in class. So I really like the fact that he goes over real LSAT questions within that lesson video. However, when you go do the homework, when you're done with the entire lesson and you go do the homework, I really like that when you drill it, like it'll be like 10 logical reasoning, find the flaw questions, stuff like that. Well, they're all flawed, whatever. So you drill like 10 questions, and then at the end you see which ones you got wrong. But not only do you see which ones you got wrong and which ones you got correct, but there is like a whole like 15-minute explanation. Sometimes they're like only 5 minutes explanation because they're not like actually that difficult, but some questions are very like confusing. So he goes into like 15 minutes explanations on every single question that you got wrong, and I think it's really interesting and really helpful to see, okay, this is like how this 180 scorer thinks, and this is how I should like try to train my brain to think. So it's just really great to see because obviously like there's an explanation for every single question. If you get one wrong, you can understand why it's wrong. My next pro is that the testmasters course actually offers LSAT flex options, so you don't have to take like a full original LSAT like the way the old LSAT was. You're actually allowed to take the LSAT flex through their program, which I think is really great. For those of you that don't know or haven't heard, the LSAT Flex is basically just like a logical reasoning, logical games, and reading comprehension section. So you get one of each, and it's all online back to back. I think it's really great because you kind of simulate like a testing environment. I thought it was really helpful to kind of get my head in the game. Next pro I have is once again tied back to the instructor. this man has so many perfect scores on the LSAT. Like, he knows what he's talking about. And one of the things that I found really great about him is like these are really heavy lectures. Like, I have never been exposed to logic. It's not like I'm binging a really good Netflix show. It's not like that at all. Like, it is work. It's like mentally straining, and like you have to like exercise your brain and be very disciplined. So it's really helpful when the instructor is really cool. Like, I thought he was just like easy to listen to, and the way he explained things was kind of interesting. It definitely like helped me, I guess, train my brain better and like to try to think of things in a different way that I didn't before. So I would definitely say like a pro is like the instructor, because you can tell he's very intelligent and like knows what he's talking about. Keep in mind, you are going to be like literally drilling testmasters so hard, so it's like nice when it's actually kind of entertaining to be listening to it. I don't have to take like a super ton of like flowcharts and notes. It wasn't like that type of heavy. It was just like trying to absorb a lot of information, and he made it kind of easy. Like, he wasn't super tough, like he didn't speak super fast or anything like that. So I found that to be very nice about the instructor. And for my last pro, this is the most important thing about the whole course. If you take anything from this video, it is this. Like I have mentioned before, I was never exposed to logic, never took philosophy. I was literally like a baby coming into this course, and I came out of it feeling so confident in my foundation for logical thinking in general. I feel like this course really established like a solid foundation and understanding for like what the LSAT is and how to beat this test. So I thought it was so useful. I really do recommend this course. I'm not sponsored. I just have a referral code. Everyone gets one. Here it is, by the way. But yeah, like everyone gets a referral code. This is like not sponsored at all. I really do. I recommend this to my friends. And if you're my girl, like, I'm not gonna be like setting you up to fail. Like, for real, I really do think this course has helped me so much. Just because I had no foundation in logic. I honestly wouldn't know where to start if I didn't take this course. So I'm so thankful that I did have the opportunity to take this course, and I do recommend it as a whole. However, there are some cons that I do want to mention because I think they are important. I wish someone told them to me. Because at the end of the day, I just want other people that are like looking to go to law school to spend their money wisely. Like, law school is not cheap. Applying to law school is not cheap. So like, make informed decisions about where you're going to be putting your money and where you're going to be investing in it for yourself. So yeah, these are just some of the things that I wish like the people that had encouraged me to take this course told me. I'm just trying to be transparent and all that. All right, so let's get into these cons. I'm gonna get real with y'all in these cons. If you have any further questions, leave them down below. DM me on Instagram at PAMACOSTAAA. I want y'all to make an informed decision. If you have any questions, for real, like, reach out. The first con is obviously the price. I really do think that the price of this course is very like high. It is just straight up, it's high. It is like 3 months worth of rent or something like that. I do think that it is a con because obviously it means that it isn't very accessible to a lot of people. I know that I talked about how it is accessible in terms of location. However, in terms of like finances, I do not think that this is a course that everybody could just have like the privilege to take. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, it is the most obvious con in my opinion. If you think $1,600 is chump change, feel free to take the course though. Like, that's on you. But yeah, I do think it's important to mention, because if this is something that you want to do, start budgeting, because I really do think it is helpful. However, it is gonna be expensive. My second con is kind of gonna go hand in hand with the expensiveness of this course. The price tag is not just for the course, it's for transportation, it's for where this course is located. So I do live in South Florida, and at the time that I took the course, I was in South Florida. However, this was during the height of the pandemic, so I chose to do the course online because I was not trying to get corona. However, the closest location to me was Boca or Miami. So those two places are obviously very like rich people live there. If you live in like a lower income neighborhood, you're probably not going to have a testmasters course close by you, unfortunately, and that's just gonna honestly like increase the cost on gas or public transportation, which also could expose you to corona, so be careful with that. But not only that, but on time, because just to get to Boca, for me, it would have taken me like an hour and a half to drive there and an hour and a half to drive back. That would have been 3 hours of round trip travel just to get to this course. and I think each lesson is 2 hours long or something like that, and I would have come home at like midnight or something like that. The location of the test masters in person may not be something that is close to you, and so then you would have to consider all these like other financial factors or time factors in case you have a job. So yeah, that is something to consider if you are like the type of person that has to be inside a classroom with a live instructor. That might be hard if you don't live in Manhattan or Miami Beach, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just think about that. So this next con is something that I did talk about briefly as a pro, which was the instructor. I think that if we're looking at it from like the cup is half full, the professor is very smart, he's intelligent, you can tell he knows what he's talking about, and he's very entertaining to listen to. So it's not like some math teacher like droning on and on and on. Like math was like, I hated that class, so like for me it was super boring. He's not boring. So that's kind of the point that I was trying to make with that. However, on the flip side of that, the thing about the professor is like, you know, when some people are like really smart and like, you know, they know what they're talking about, but they're really smart, so they kind of forget to dumb it down sometimes. Maybe it's just me and I'm just like really dumb, but sometimes I would just be there like, dude, like you need to like say that in like plain English, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I just think that he forgot that we did not all get 180s. I feel like he would say something and like skim over something that I felt like he should have like really delved deeper into so that I can understand it and absorb it more. Sometimes I felt like he coasted over certain topics that I wish we could have spent more time on. If you catch new concepts really easy, this may not be a problem for you. However, for a course that I'm paying $1,000+ for, I was like a little bit annoyed because I still had some questions. Briefly, I do want to add a quick mini con that I did not mention before. The course also does come with a tutoring service included if you're taking it online. I'm not sure if it comes with the in-person one because you already have that one-on-one time with like a real instructor. However, for the tutoring, I do think that it needs some work. I would type a question and they would get back to me like a day later, so I suppose it wasn't that bad, but by then I had moved on from the question, you know what I mean? So I do wish it was faster, but it's an online course, so you can't ask for much more, I guess. But yeah, like I didn't really like that. So when he didn't delve into something deep enough for me and I asked it online, I don't know, like I just like submitted my question and I didn't really feel like I got a sense of peace that day. I was just kind of confused for like a whole day, you know what I mean? This next part is very, very important in my opinion. I think this con is something that everyone should consider because it was just kind of annoying. Like the homework you get assigned for the lessons is impossible to complete, bro. Like it is just so much homework, and mind you, you are being exposed to like a very new topic. So I felt like I didn't have enough time to grasp the topic and successfully complete the homework. Not just complete it, but like get it right. So for me that was very frustrating because I felt like I kind of was just kind of thrown to the sharks because these are like real LSAT questions and I'm still like a baby like LSAT taker. So I felt like I didn't really have like a good idea of what was going on and I kept getting questions wrong, and that just kind of made me sad and think like, damn, like I'm never gonna get into law school and stuff like that. When in reality I just needed to practice more, and like the drills he gave us were really intense. Like you had like the homework would be like 100 questions like per day, but I needed to do another lesson like the next day, you know what I mean, just to keep on track with like the schedule that I had made for myself. So I would have time to take practice tests before the actual LSAT and stuff like that. So I just thought the drills and like the homework expectation was really unrealistic. However, this is like a business. Like he's gonna make more money if people retake the course because they feel like they didn't do that, like they need more reinforcement, which is kind of like the next con that I have. You have 3 months max to like complete this course, otherwise like you lose access to the course. When you think about it, that's like $1,000 divided by 3. Like you're basically paying rent for a course because you don't actually own the content to the course. Like real quick, like you do not own content at all. Like everything is pretty much copyrighted. So you, like if you want to write down notes, you cannot copy paste anything. You have to type it all out or write it all out. You can print. However, like the distribution of those notes is like very protected. Like everything is copyrighted and it reminds you of its copyright like every single day you log on to that course. Last con that I have kind of goes back again. I feel like there's a pro and con to everything. So like my last pro that I mentioned was that this is like a very good foundation for logic, and I do believe that. However, the con to that is that's all it is. It is a good foundation, but it is not everything for the LSAT. Like, this will not get you to that 180. Maybe it will. Like, maybe you're smart. My brain though needs help, so it would not get me to a 180 is what I'm trying to say. I felt like I did experience a lot of growth with this course. I'll mention my numbers in a minute, but like I felt like I experienced a lot of growth with this course. However, this is not end goal. Like, I do not want this score as my LSAT, like law school application score, like absolutely not. However, I do think I've come a long way. I've learned so much, and I think it's really great, and it did provide me that, so for that I'm really thankful. However, I feel like if you are already in the 150s, this is not a course that you should retake again, which is an option. Like, the people can extend their course. I think you have to pay $500 for an extra month, I think it is, just because I feel like it doesn't reinforce already existing ideas. It just lays the foundation for reinforcement later on, and I think that's where I'm at right now. Like, I think I did the course. I feel really good about it, and I'm thankful that I did it because it did establish that foundation. However, I plateaued. By the end, I plateaued, like, for real, because I was like, yeah, like, I'm just not gonna get past this score because like I still don't have a strong reinforcement of these ideas. I feel like he tried to teach the course in a very formulaic way, whereas I know other instructors teach it in a more, like, try to teach it as more of like a natural way to think about it. Like, your brain should be inclined to think in this manner. But yeah, in total, I really do think the course is a really great idea. If you need it to like increase your LSAT score, I really do recommend it. Now that I'm done with the course, I'm gonna like tell you what I'm on now. The LSAT Trainer by Mike Kim, oh my god, he's giving me the reinforcement that Testmasters didn't, and I feel so thankful that I am like reading this. Like, she's thick. Y'all want to see her? She is so thick. Like, she is like 600 pages of amazing material. Okay, I'm like halfway through that, but I have already seen so much improvement. However, I'm only gonna share my stats, which I'll share in a second, of my improvement of the Testmasters course. I'm not gonna include like the numbers I'm at now that I've read this book, because obviously like I did go up now that I've been practicing more and stuff like that. But with just Testmasters alone, I started off with my very first diagnostic ever of any LSAT exam I've ever taken, and I started out with a 143. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. A 143 will not get you into law school, and I know this. LSAT course, I finished with a 153. So yeah, I went up 10 points, and honestly, I just threw my phone down, sorry. But honestly, I'm really happy with those 10 points. I'm thankful that I went up at all. I think that it was really helpful, and I do encourage others to take it if it is the right program for you. Definitely look at other programs. There's like so many, like 7 Sage, the Bibles, the LSAT Trainer. Some people really just take the LSAT Trainer and like never take a course. That book was like 50 bucks, I think. Like, they'll only read that book and they'll take the LSAT and be fine. So like, really just try to figure out where you are. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, for those of you that are like looking into maybe like taking an LSAT course, like an LSAT prep course for law school and for the LSAT. I really do recommend it, like I said. However, if you have any further questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram at PAMACOSTAAA. And if you do want to take this Testmasters course, here is my referral code. I really do recommend it. But yeah, I hope this video was very helpful. I hope this helped clear up any doubts you had or anything like that. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Comment, subscribe, like down below, and I will see you next time.